Hello there everyone. We are going to have a quick look at some financial maths and some arithmetic. I'm going to run through these. I know some of you probably have some of this done already. If you do, it doesn't really matter. I suppose it's good revision anyway, and I've got this new tool that can help me write on this and make things a little bit easier and give you a bit of revision. If there's something that you want me to do a video on, please let me know. Let's move on with it anyway, and we'll get it done as quick as possible. So question 1, this is from 2019. So Emer earns an income tax rate of 20% on income up to the standard rate cutoff point of 35,300, and she pays tax at a rate of 40% on the remainder. The most important thing that you've got to do here is you really want to try and break the question up. So, you know, we're on 20% of income up to the standard rate cutoff point. So that's the important bit. Her standard rate cutoff point is 35,300. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to get 20% of 35,300. Now again, I don't have a calculator here on the side of the page, so I'm working off marking schemes and a couple of other bits and pieces. So I'll have the answers fairly handy. But again, you should be able to work out what 20% of this particular number is, again, on your calculator. So that's going to give us 7,060. The next part then is she pays tax at a rate of 40% on the remainder. So that means she's paying the 20% up to 35,300 and 40% on the remainder. So we can go 40%. Do that again. So we can go 40% of whatever is left over. So what's left over of this is 4,700. Now, where did I get the 4,700? The 35,300 and the 4,700 that you see there adds up to the 40,000, which is up the top, this 40,000 here. So again, 40% of the 4,700, which is the upper rate of tax, is going to give us a total of 1,880. So then what we've got to do, so this is her 20%, so this is the lower rate. This is the upper rate or the higher rate. And we're going to add the two things together. So the total there is 8,940. So that there is your total tax. Now in this particular question then it says she has annual tax credits of 1,650. So they're the annual tax credits. So tax credit is how much they let you away with. So that means if your total tax over here is 8,940, that means they're going to let you away with 1,650 of it. So in this particular one here, you're going to take away 1,650, and that's because this is your tax credit. So again, take your tax credit away and you end up with a total of 7,290. And this is what the question says. It's asking how much income tax she pays. So this here is your final tax paid. So that's the first part of that question. Sometimes you might find the screen skipping around. That's mainly because I have to pause it and unpause it and so on and so forth. So we'll move on to the next question. If Emer is paying her health insurance, which costs her 1,500 euros net, find her annual income after paying income tax and her health insurance. So what we're going to have a look at is how to find her annual income. Well, we've got to look at her outgoings. So first of all, the most important thing is she is paying tax, which is 7,290. But then it's also saying that her health insurance is costing her 1,500 euros. So we can put in her health insurance is 1,500 euros. Again, this is all money going out. So we're going to add those two. And we're going to get a total of 0 and 9 and 7 and 8. So her total outgoings is 8,790. So if her total pay back up at the top of the question was, I think it was 40,000 it was, and her total outgoings, so her tax and her health insurance was 8,790, you're going to take them away. Okay. Figure out how much she's left with. That's going to give us a total of 31,210. So that gives us her annual income. It's a good idea to make sure that you are labeling everything so you know where everything is. It's not even so much for the examiner. It's that when you lay things out neatly and you label each of your numbers, it helps you understand where things are coming from. So that's her annual income. job with company B with a gross wage of 38 grand. So she's making less money. She's gone from 40,000 down to 38,000. But she's getting a bonus of 1,500 euros, which is tax-free, so that's not included in tax, paid by the company, and she uses it to pay her health insurance. Her tax credits or tax rates and credits would remain exactly the same, and basically find how much Emer's net income will increase if she accepts the company. So you have to basically do the question again, except this time you're working off 38%. So again, in this one, we're looking at 20% up to the cutoff point. So we're looking at 20% of the number which is the cutoff point, which is 35,300. And you're also going to get 40% of what's left over. Now again, if she's making 38,000, then the number that's left over is 2,700. These two numbers here make up the 38,000, the 35,300 and the 2,700. So what we've got to do is work out those two, and I've worked these out on the side of the page, and when you add that up, that gives you 8,140 when you add these two together. So this one here is going to be, again, her total tax. Her tax credit still remains the same. So again, you're going to take away the tax credit because that's money she's allowed away with. So that's her tax credit. You take it away, and that leaves you with a total of 6,490. Okay, so that's basically her tax payable or her tax bill. Now again, in this particular example, we don't have to worry about her health insurance because she's getting a bonus of 1,500 euros to pay for her health insurance. So we don't need to worry about that. So now what we've got to do is look at her 38,000 gross salary. We take away the tax bill, which is 6,490. So that means the total amount of money she's coming out with at the end is 31,000, and that's 510. B, her final salary or final pay was actually 31,210. So what you'd say then is, therefore, there is a 300 euro increase in her pay. So this will be a good move, even though she is making less money. So the power P of an engine is measured in horsepower, and it gives this formula. P is equal to R multiplied by T all over 5252. It says R is the engine speed. So this thing here is the engine speed. And again, I would always try to put in some lines to explain which T is the torque. So again, T is your torque there. And then of course, P then is your power. So one, find the power of an engine that generates 480 units of torque at 2500 RPM and give your answer correct in the nearest whole number. So always identify what it is you're looking for. It's asking you to find the power. So if you want to find the power, you're going to be using the P formula. So it's going to be P equals R multiplied by T all over 5252. And then just drop in your numbers as you can. So R, which is the revolutions or the engine speed. So it says it generates 480 units of torque. Now that would be T. So that there is T. And then 2500 RPM, that's going to give you your R. So it's going to be 2500 multiplied by T, which is 480. And then all of that is divided by 5252. So that total is going to give you 228.48. But the question says the nearest whole number. So to get the nearest whole number is going to be 228. That's your final answer. Moving down to the next one, it says rearrange the formula to write R in terms of P and T. So your formula here, P is equal to R multiplied by T all over 5252. We need to get the formula to write R in terms of P and T, which means we need R on the left hand side. So the first thing we want to do is move this 5252. This is a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 5252. We're going to bring it up over the other side equal, so I'm going to multiply it by P. So what we've got is P multiplied by 5252, and that's going to be equal to R multiplied by T. And again, we're looking for or. So in this particular example, we're going to take the t. These two things are multiplied. So when you bring it over, it goes underneath and it divides. Or you can just divide both sides by t, whichever way you want to do it. So that leaves us with p multiplied by 5, 2, 5, 2, all divided by t, which is going to give you or. And that's your final answer. Let's have a look at the next question. Part B. So a company was set up in January 2016 to repair engines. The first month of its existence, the company made a loss of 4,000, and this loss reduced by 250 a month. And you can see this in the table. So month 1, they lost 4,000, which is why it's a negative number. And then the loss reduced by 250 a month. That means the loss wasn't as great. So in month 2, they didn't lose 4 grand, they only lost 3,750 because the amount of loss is being reduced. So again, obviously, looking at number 3 here, you've got to complete the table. So if you're losing 250, again, this is going to be minus 3,500. And this would make sense because the next number is minus 3,250. So you knock another 250 off that. So in month 5, they have lost 3,000. In month 6, it's going to be minus 2,750. And again, you can use this for workings if you see fit. Let's move on to part 2. It says, show that the profit the company makes in a month n is given by the formula Tn is equal to 250n minus 4250. The Tn. So this Tn indicates we are dealing with sequences and series and patterns, number patterns. So normally when you see Tn, we know that the formula for Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 times b. Now, why am I using this? Okay, so this is used for a sequence, and in particular, an arithmetic sequence. And what an arithmetic sequence is what we've got here. You're starting at a particular number, so this is the starting number. This is always a, right here. And then as you go along the line, it is moving by the same amount. So an example of an arithmetic sequence would be something along the lines of, 2, 5, 8, 11. It's increasing by 3 each time. Okay. Normally when we write these, it's increasing by plus 3. In this particular example though, what's happening is it is increasing by 250 each time. Okay. Even though you're still in negative numbers, you are actually increasing. You're getting closer and closer to 0. This will eventually keep going until you get to 0. So back down here in our formula, what we're going to do is Tn is equal to a, which is always our first term, which is minus 4,000, plus n minus 1, multiplied by d, which is the difference, and the difference here is 250. Now what you're going to have to do is try and multiply this out. So Tn is equal to minus 4,000. And in this, you're going to take the 250, you're going to multiply it by n. You're also going to take the 250 and multiply it by minus 1. When you do this, you're going to get 250n. And then when you do the 250 by the minus 1, you're going to get minus 250. Now you're just going to smarten this up a little bit by doing the numbers. Generally, you can put the 250n first if you want. So that's 250n. And then minus 4,000 and minus 250 gives you minus 4250. And that gives you the Tn that you're looking for up here.